Welcome to Ultimate Survival Gear. Today, as you guys can see, I have a plastic bag in front of me. Well, the reason why I have an empty plastic bag is because this is how the shoes that I'm reviewing today come. They come in a plastic bag. Right, let's get the plastic bag out of the way and put the shoes right here so that you guys can see. These are very popular on Amazon. Oranginer or Oranginer. I don't know, however you want to call it. Oranginer, over 5,100 reviews currently on Amazon. Almost 5 stars, about 30 bucks, 32 bucks, plenty, I mean literally plenty of different color variations. However you want orange, you want green, blue, red, literally whatever you have in mind, they probably have that. I obviously got this cool camo look for the review that I'm doing today, because as you guys already know, this is not a regular review. This review is specifically for my Ultimate Survival boots section. Yes, I know these are not boots, these are shoes, but if something bad happened and well, you had to survive, you had to run, you had to wear these shoes for very long time without taking them off, walk for miles, run, climb, fight, I don't know, do whatever is necessary to survive. Would they be good to survive? Well, how do we make the judgment? We make the judgment based on 8 different criteria. Let's begin the review. Criteria number 1, of course, the comfort level. And in order to test the comfort level of all the shoes, boots, everything that I review on this channel, I do a 3-mile run, non-stop, and then a 5-mile walk. Again, absolutely no stops in between. Total wear time, I continue wearing after I'm done with the walk and a run for about 8 hours, just to get like a whole day wear and see how they feel if you wear them for a whole day. And like I said, I don't know if I said it already or not, you probably guessed, these are super comfortable. And there are a few factors that contribute to the comfort level. And the very first factors, as you probably already guessed, that contributes or sometimes take away from the comfort level is, of course, the weight. This is size 10. Let's see exactly how light these shoes are. And 12.9. Very good weight. Honestly, I expected a little bit less from these, but because you do get a really good protection, which we'll talk about the protection later. From the outsole, there's decent amount of rubbering here that obviously adds to the weight. Not too bad. Now, to give you kind of a reference numbers, to give you an idea of what's considered lightweight and what's considered heavy, right? If you want a lightweight, you're looking for something that is under 20 ounce per shoe. Obviously these are 12, that's way under 20, so definitely lightweight, easy to run, easy to walk for extended periods of time. In that, whenever it comes to the weight department, great job there, Oranginer or Oranginer, whatever. But if obviously the more the more over 20 ounce your shoes are, the heavier they get, the bulkier, it's harder to run, it's harder to walk for extended periods of time. But most of the times you sacrifice that weight for the protection. And obviously these are not boots, there is no shaft or anything like that, so obviously I would expect them to be super lightweight. 12 is pretty good, although not the lightest. Keep that in mind. Let's move on to the next factor that contributes to the comfort level is the flexibility of the bottom sole. The more flexible the bottom sole is, the more things you can do, the easier it is to run properly in these. And here, as you can see, without any struggle, this is ridiculously flexible. I really like this. Is perfect. The flexibility of this outsole is freaking perfect. That's how it's supposed to be, in my opinion, whenever it comes to everything you're wearing, whenever it comes to survival stuff, because you want to be able to run, you want to be able to fight, you want to be able to climb, and this kind of outsole allows you to do all of that without any problems. There are a few other factors. Of course, we got the inner sole. Now let's take out the inner sole. Let's see if it is removable in the first place. It is removable, so let's take it out and I will show you the inner sole, which actually surprisingly is good here considering the price. Very nicely shaped. As you can see, there is a nice arch support here. There's a heel pad, nicely shaped. In the back there is a design pattern going for breathability and at the same time for cushioning as well. So great job, Oranginer. Great job. Seriously, this is really, really good. Plenty of cushioning, just like I like. But even once you remove it, you still have another layer of cushioning. So this cushioning combined with a very flexible outsole, excellent comfort level. Of course, you do have padding over here at the top by the ankle, pretty good. Not much here. I mean, it's very soft. This feels like a freaking sock. So it's very soft. My only little complaint here, whenever it comes to the comfort level, is when you go all the way to the front with this rubber padding, which I love. We will talk about the protection later. From the inside, there is no additional padding here on this side. I wish there was. If anybody from the Oranginer team is watching, I would recommend implementing so that if your toe is touching from the inside, you don't want to get fatigued. I will talk about the sizing later. It's very important to get them in the right size, because if you're not going to like this. It will feel uncomfortable after a certain amount of time. But keep that in mind. Sizing, we will talk about it later. So overall comfort level, fantastic job, excellent. I mean, I can see why there are over 5,000 reviews on Amazon. Great, amazing comfort level. Done with that, let's move on to the criteria number 2 now, proofing and protection. Obviously, proofing wise, don't expect much from this. These are not waterproof, obviously, which I don't mind at all. If you watched any of my previous reviews, you know that my personal preference is something that dries fast over something that is waterproof, because if we go, into the argument of waterproofing, if we go deep into it, there's really nothing waterproof whenever it comes to shoes out there, like 100% waterproof, unless it's like, I don't know. I cannot imagine anything that is 100% waterproof, because you still have even if you have a shaft, no matter how tall it is, depending on how deep if you're crossing the river, you're gonna get wet regardless, okay? So with something that is not waterproof but that dries quick, you don't really worry, because okay, yeah, my feet just got wet. Okay, 15 minutes later, okay, my feet are now dry. So this is the case with these. So not a problem at all. So I don't mind. Whenever it comes to the protection here, one thing that I wish is that I really hope that somebody freaking comes up with something like this, mid-size, because my favorite for anything tactical, anything survival, anything hiking is mid-size. So this with mid-size would have been amazing, just to get a little bit of protection for the ankles. But nevertheless, even though there is no protection on the ankles here, you have this cover over here at the front, which works very well at protecting. I mean, it's not a hard rubber, so don't drop a freaking dumbbell on it, because you will smash your toes. But small rocks falling on the hike or something like that, running on the trail, this will give you sufficient amount of protection. Of course, the rubbering here, I mean, it's a soft rubber, so don't step on a nail or a sharp rock or something like that. But overall, this will give you sufficient amount of the protection as well. So you can use this as water shoes, you can use this as trail running shoes, you can use this even as climbing shoes. I tested them on my rock wall in the house, and you can use them as the climbing shoes. They are pretty good because of the flexibility and because of the grippiness of the outsole, which we will talk about later anyway. But overall, if you don't mind something that is not mid-size or full-size, you're gonna like this. Let's move on to the criteria number 3, quality and the design features. Now here, whenever it comes to quality, usually I mention the reviews on Amazon. Definitely time tested on Amazon, over 5,000 reviews. Wow, impressive, very impressive. So people do like these a lot. If you have experience personally with them, drop it in the comments below. It will be helpful for me and for everyone else who watches this review. But whenever it comes to the design features, here I talk about the lacing system. And as you can see, here is your favorite quick lace system. So basically, we got the stretchy, rubbery strings, right? The lacing system here. We have our lock that travels with a push of a button. And as you can see, they implement the Velcro here, which I like a lot. Bam! The only problem is you have a little bit of extra this hanging around, but I'm sure you can figure out the way how to not have that if you are wearing these shoes on a daily basis. Overall, I love the lacing system. It's excellent. Easy to put it on, easy to take it off, which is a huge plus to whenever it comes to survival situations, because if you're not wearing them and you have them in the house, you want something that you can put on fast. Definitely makes sense. Let's move on to the criteria number 4 now, very important, outsole traction stability. Now, Whenever I do my run and my walk, I do it on a variety of different surfaces, starting with older asphalt, going to the newer tarmac, then dry sand, dry grass, wet grass, trail surface, rocky road, concrete, and then rubber flooring that I have in my gym, and finishing up with a marble and tile, and the rock wall that I have in my house. Okay, so I tested freaking as much as I can on pretty much everything I possibly can to tell you yes, it's good, or no, it's not good. This outsole is fantastic. The only thing that I can say that it's a little bit of a downside is that it's because it's such a soft, such a flexible. Don't step on anything sharp because it's easily penetratable, all right? But other than that, the design pattern is fantastic. It is a very good balance of flatness and aggression. This is very, very aggressive, even though it looks very flat. So what it means is, whenever you're walking through the sand, wet sand, dry sand, you're not digging in, you're not sinking in it. But at the same time, when you're on slippery surfaces like marble and tile, wet grass, you're not sliding around because this is very aggressive. So very, very good job there, Oranginer. But overall traction stability, so great job overall. Whenever it comes to the outsole, I'm not gonna mention here the snow and the ice because these are not snow boots or shoes or anything like that. They're not designed for winter, so pointless, obviously pointless. So let's move on to the criteria number 5 really quickly. Temperature. Again, I'm not going to talk about the cold temperatures. Pointless, because this has nothing to do with cold temperatures. If you put this in a cold temperature, you're going to freeze immediately. But on the plus side, if you are like me, live in Florida, for hot temperatures, this is absolutely fantastic. Very light, very breathable. So it almost feels like you're wearing sleepers, honestly. Very, very nice comfort level. Let's move on to the criteria number 6. Very important here, something to mention, sizing. They do run a little bit on the smaller size, and plus, on top of that, I always recommend my viewers getting half a size bigger. Anything tactical, combat, military, work, hiking, whether it's boots, trail running shoes, doesn't matter. Get yourself half a size bigger so that you have a little bit of extra space here in the toe box. And it's very important, especially in these shoes, because like I said, this rubber, from the inside, there is no cushioning. So if you're getting the right size and your toe is touching that front, that rubbering, you're gonna get fatigued pretty quickly, especially if you're running or walking down the hill. So get yourself half a size bigger at least, but be prepared to kind of go back and forth to find the right thing. You want to have a little bit of extra space. You don't want your toe touching that front of the toe box, all right? Keep that in mind. Criteria number 7 now, kind of like a conclusion, the balance of application. So if this really was your ultimate survival shoe, and you were wearing it, something bad happened, and you had to travel for distances, you had to fight, you had to climb, you had to do whatever's necessary, camp out to survive. Would they be good? I think this is honestly a fantastic option, especially if you're like me, prefer something that is lightweight, that dries quickly, that is very, very versatile. You can apply it on different surfaces in different situations. This is fantastic. I personally would really hope one day they come up with a mid-size version, because that would be just freaking absolutely ideal. That'd just be absolutely crazy ideal for me. I would absolutely love that. I would especially love it if somebody like, I don't know, Salomon or La Sportiva come up with something like that. But we'll see one day, just because they're my favorite brands. We'll see. But overall, this is great. And the very last criterion, kind of to help you make up your mind, the price. I mean, for $30, you can't go wrong. This is phenomenal. For $30, seriously, you know, the trail running shoes that I buy for myself, you know, they are, you know, $70, $80, $100. This is, I mean, I think I'll just stick with this from now on, because they are fantastic for running. They're, you know, the Outsole is just as good as pretty much anything I have for my trail running shoes. They dry quickly, decent amount of protection, amazing lacing system. So for $30, you can't go wrong. So let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you think about this review? What do you think about this shoe? Would you consider them as your trail running shoes, as your hiking shoes, as your water shoes, as your climbing shoes, I don't know, whatever. Would you consider them as your survival shoes? That's the important question. If you have any suggestions, if you have any requests, drop them in the comments below. If you found this review useful, please consider subscribing. If you want to support me even more, please consider supporting me through Patreon. It really helps. The more supporters I have, the more quality content and reviews I can bring to this channel. Thank you very much, guys, for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.